Her voice was raw, unpolished, but impossible to ignore. She stood on the corner of Fifth Avenue, guitar case open at her feet, singing a song most people knew by heart. But the way she sang it, the emotion, the pain, the hope, it was like hearing it for the first time. Most people walked past, a few dropped coins, fewer still stopped to listen. But one woman froze mid-step, not because she recognized the voice, but because she recognized the soul behind it. Her name was Emma, 19 years old, dropped out of college to chase a dream everyone told her to forget, and the song she was singing? All Too Well, note for note, word for word. What Emma didn't know was that the woman, standing 10 feet away, hidden behind sunglasses and a hood, was Taylor Swift, and what happened in the next 5 minutes would change her life forever. Welcome to Celebrity Stories. Before we continue this incredible story of talent, courage, and a moment that went viral around the world, tell me in the comments, from which city are you watching this video today? And if you believe dreams like Emma's deserve to be heard, hit that subscribe button and help us share stories that remind us why we should never give up. Emma Rodriguez hadn't planned to be a street performer. That wasn't the dream. The dream was stages, recording studios, sold-out shows, the kind of life where her parents could finally say, "We always believed in her." But dreams don't pay rent, and in New York City, rent was $1,800 a month for a room the size of a closet. So every morning at 7 a.m., Emma carried her guitar down 4 flights of stairs, took the subway to Midtown, and set up on the same corner of Fifth Avenue. The spot wasn't great. Too much foot traffic meant people moved too fast to stop, but it was legal. And after 6 months of trying other corners, Emma had learned that legal mattered more than perfect. She played for 3 hours in the morning, took a break to eat dollar pizza, then played another 3 hours in the afternoon. On good days, she made $80. On bad days, $30. Enough to survive, not enough to dream. Her parents called every week. Her mom's voice always had the same tone, worry wrapped in hope, wrapped in exhaustion. "Mija, when are you coming home? Your room is still here. You can go back to school. It's not too late." But it was too late. Not because Emma had gone too far, but because she couldn't go back. Not yet. Not until she knew she'd tried everything. Emma's story wasn't unique. New York was full of dreamers like her. Singers on subway platforms, dancers in Times Square, artists sketching portraits for tourists. Most of them would give up eventually, move home, get normal jobs, tell their kids about the year they almost made it. But Emma wasn't ready to be part of that story. Not yet. So she kept singing, kept hoping, kept believing that one day someone would stop, really stop, and listen. She just didn't know that day was today. It was 2:47 p.m. on a Tuesday. The lunch rush had ended. The evening commute hadn't started. Fifth Avenue was full, but not packed. The perfect time to be heard. Emma adjusted her guitar strap, took a breath, and started playing All Too Well. It was her favorite song, not because it was popular, but because it felt true. Every line was a memory. Every chord was a heartbreak. And when Emma sang it, she wasn't performing. She was confessing. She closed her eyes and let the words pour out. She didn't see the businessman who stopped mid-call to listen. Didn't see the couple who paused, hands intertwined, remembering their own story. Didn't see the woman in the black hoodie and sunglasses standing 20 feet away, completely still. But Taylor Swift saw her. Taylor had been in New York for a studio session. She'd finished early and decided to walk instead of taking a car. She loved the city like this. Anonymous. Just another face in the crowd. No one looking. No one asking. Just her and the noise and the energy of a place that never stopped moving. Then she heard it. Her own song, but not the version she knew. This was different. Raw. Like someone had torn the lyrics out of a diary and set them to music. Taylor stopped walking. She pulled her hood lower and stepped closer, trying not to be noticed. She'd heard 1,000 covers of her songs. Some good, some not. But this one hurt. In the best way. The girl was young, couldn't be more than 20. Her guitar was old, scratched, the kind you bought secondhand because you couldn't afford new. Her clothes were layered, practical, the kind you wore when you didn't know if you'd be inside or outside all day. And her voice carried something Taylor recognized instantly. Desperation, not the loud kind, the quiet kind, the kind that came from needing this to work because there was no plan B. Taylor had been that girl once, not on a street corner, but in a different way. She knew what it felt like to pour everything into a dream and hope someone, anyone, would notice. So she didn't walk away. She stood there hidden and listened. When Emma finished the song, she opened her eyes. A few people clapped. Someone dropped a $5 bill into her case. Most kept walking, but one person stepped forward. Emma didn't recognize recognize her at first. The sunglasses hid most of her face. The hood covered her hair. But there was something about the way she moved. Confident, but careful. Like someone used to being seen trying not to be. The woman stopped in front of Emma and smiled. Then she spoke, her voice soft but clear. That was beautiful. Emma's throat tightened. Thank you. Do you write your own songs? Emma nodded. I try, but no one really wants to hear them. They just want covers. The woman tilted her head. I'd like to hear one. If you're willing to share. Emma hesitated. Original songs were risky. People didn't tip for music they didn't recognize. But something about this woman, her tone, her presence made Emma want to say yes. So she did. Emma played a song she'd written 3 months ago. It was called Fading Fast. About feeling invisible. About giving everything and wondering if it mattered. About the fear that maybe, just maybe, you weren't good enough after all. She sang it quietly, almost apologetically, but every word landed. And when she finished, the woman didn't say anything at first. She just stood there, as if letting the song settle. Then she reached up and pulled off her sunglasses. Emma's breath caught. It was Taylor Swift. Emma couldn't speak, couldn't move. Her hands stayed frozen on the guitar strings as her brain tried to process what was happening. Taylor Swift, the Taylor Swift, standing 3 feet away, had just listened to her song. I'm sorry, Emma finally managed. I didn't know it was you. Taylor smiled gently. I know, that's why I stayed. You liked it? I loved it, Taylor said, and she meant it. There was no politeness in her tone, no celebrity charity, just honesty. Emma felt tears prickling her eyes, but forced them back. I've been singing your songs for years. You're the reason I started writing. Taylor's expression softened. How long have you been out here? 6 months, Emma said quietly. Every day, trying to get noticed, trying to make it work. Where are you from? Phoenix. I came here after I dropped out of school. My parents think I'm crazy. Emma laughed, but it was hollow. Maybe I am. Taylor shook her head. You're not crazy. You're brave. I don't feel brave. I feel tired. I know, Taylor said. I've been there. Maybe not on a street corner, but I've stood in rooms full of people who didn't care, who didn't believe, who told me to go home and be realistic. Emma looked up, surprised. Really? Really? Taylor paused. Can I sit? Emma nodded quickly, moving over on the small step where she'd been perched. Taylor sat down beside her, pulling her hood back slightly but keeping it on just enough to stay semi-hidden. What's your name? Taylor asked. Emma. Emma Rodriguez. Emma, Taylor repeated. That song you just sang. Fading Fast. How long did it take you to write? About a week. I kept rewriting the bridge. Couldn't get it right. It's right now, Taylor said. The bridge is the strongest part. Emma's chest tightened. Taylor Swift just critiqued her song and liked it. What do you want, Emma? Taylor asked. If you could have anything, not what your parents want, not what's realistic, what do you want? Emma didn't hesitate. I want to make music that matters. I want people to hear my songs and feel less alone. Taylor nodded slowly. That's a good reason. That's the only reason, actually. They sat in silence for a moment, the noise of the city swirling around them. Then Taylor pulled out her phone. I want you to do something for me, she said. Anything, Emma said. Sing that song again, Fading Fast, and I'm going to record it. Emma's eyes widened. Why? Because people need to hear it, and because I think you're about to stop giving yourself permission to be heard. Taylor's gaze was steady. Am I right? Emma's throat tightened. She nodded. I thought so, Taylor said. So sing it. One more time. For real this time. Emma picked up her guitar. Her hands were shaking, but she started playing, and this time she didn't hold back. She sang like it was the last song she'd ever sing. Like it mattered. Like she mattered. And Taylor recorded every second. Taylor posted the video that night. No caption. Just Emma's voice. Just her song and Taylor's account name at the top. By midnight, it had 2 million views. By morning, 10 million. Emma woke up to 47 missed calls. Her phone was exploding with notifications. Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, messages from people she hadn't talked to in years, record labels, agents, journalists. She thought it was a mistake, a glitch. Then she opened Taylor's Instagram and saw the video. Emma started crying, not quiet tears, big gasping sobs that came from a place she didn't even know existed. Relief, gratitude, disbelief, terror. Her phone rang. It was a number she didn't recognize. She almost didn't answer, but something made her pick up. Emma? The voice was familiar. Taylor? Hey, Taylor said, her tone warm. I'm guessing you saw the video. I don't understand. Why did you do this? Because you deserve to be heard, and because I remember what it felt like to need someone to believe in me. Taylor paused. How are you feeling? Terrified, Emma admitted. Taylor laughed softly. Good. That means it matters. Over the next week, Emma's life transformed. She was invited to perform at small venues, then bigger ones. A record label reached out with a development deal. Her parents called, crying, saying they were proud. But the biggest change wasn't external, it was internal. Emma stopped feeling invisible. 3 months later, Emma released her first single. It was Fading Fast, produced, polished, but still raw, still real. And when it dropped, Taylor shared it again. The song charted, not at #1, but it didn't need to be. It just needed to be heard. And it was. Emma never went back to that corner on 5th Avenue, not to perform, but she visited once, a year later, just to stand there and remember. She thought about the girl she'd been. Tired, doubting, ready to quit, and she thought about the woman who'd stopped to listen when no one else did. Taylor didn't save Emma's career. Emma did that herself, but Taylor gave her something more important. She gave her permission to believe, permission to be seen, permission to take up space in a world that told her she didn't belong. Emma's song, Fading Fast, was eventually covered by other artists. It became an anthem for people who felt invisible, for dreamers who were one bad day away from giving up. And every time someone sang it, Emma remembered the moment that changed everything. Not the viral video, not the record deal, but the moment a stranger sat beside her and said, "You're not crazy, you're brave." Because sometimes all it takes is one person, one moment, one act of kindness from someone who remembers what it's like to need it. Taylor never took credit. She never did interviews about it. For her, it wasn't a headline. It was just what you do when you see someone who deserves a chance. And Emma? She never forgot it. So now I ask you, have you ever had a dream you were ready to give up on? Or have you ever been the person who stopped to listen when no one else did? Share your story in the comments. Tell us about the moment that changed everything, or the person who believed in you when you stopped believing in yourself. Because here at Celebrity Stories, we believe that everyone deserves to be heard. And sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is stop, listen, and remind someone that their voice matters. Thank you for watching. If this story inspired you, subscribe, share, and help us make sure that voices like Emma's never fade into the background again. We'll see you in the next story. And until then, if you hear someone singing their heart out, stop. You might just change their life.